More life and times of George Washington. So when George Washington arrived in Philadelphia in 1775, we're there right after the battles of Lexington and Concord. So the situation is entirely different than his previous visit, and so this wasn't about debate anymore. The fighting had already begun. Lexington and Concord had made one thing clear, and that was the colonies were now at war, even if no one officially had said it yet. So Washington took his seat at the Second Continental Congress with that reality in mind. And so he didn't show up to give speeches, but he did come prepared. Washington wore his Virginia militia uniform, and that wasn't accidental. It signaled his experience militarily. It signaled his commitment and also his readiness. So Congress faced an enormous problem. Thousands of colonial militia were already surrounding Boston. They needed coordination, they needed discipline, and they needed leadership that other colonies would trust. Now, Washington, while there, said very little in public debate, and instead he listened. He spoke privately with other delegates, he answered questions, he clarified his experience, and many already knew his record. The Frontier War, French and Indian War, Militia Command, Organization Under Pressure, the whole Fort Necessity stuff, Fort Duquesne. Now, the thing is that just as important to all of this is that Washington was not from New England, and that mattered. Choosing him would show that it wasn't just a regional rebellion, but it was a continental effort. So Washington doesn't ask to command an army, but he understood why Congress might ask him. And he understood the cost. Accepting would mean leaving his family, leaving his home, placing himself at the center of a really dangerous experiment. And by the time Congress debated who should lead the Continental Army, the answer was already taking shape, right? And when Washington arrived at the Second Continental Congress, he wasn't seeking command, but history was already moving toward him.